Warning: the following story contains content that may be disturbing or unsettling to some readers. Reader discretion is advised. In the small town of Millfield, there was an abandoned house that had been standing for years. The locals called it the Devil's House, for the rumors of unspeakable acts that took place within its walls. No one knew for sure what went on inside, but everyone stayed far away from the eerie and ominous structure. One day, a group of teenagers dared each other to spend a night inside the Devil's House. They thought it would be a fun and spooky adventure, but they were wrong. As soon as they stepped inside, they felt an overwhelming sense of dread and terror. The air was thick and suffocating, and the darkness seemed to swallow them whole. As the night went on, strange things began to happen. Doors opened and closed on their own, objects moved by themselves, and voices whispered in their ears. The teenagers soon realized that they were not alone in the Devil's House. Something evil and malevolent was with them. As the hours ticked by, the group started to turn on each other. They became paranoid and scared, accusing each other of summoning the dark presence that was haunting them. One by one, they began to disappear, leaving behind only bloodstains and unexplainable horrors. In the end, only one teenager remained. She had managed to survive the night, but at a great cost. She was forever scarred by the things she had seen and experienced in the Devil's House. And even though she left the cursed place behind, she knew that the evil inside would always be with her, lurking in the shadows, waiting to claim the next victim. Years later, when the teenager was all grown up, she returned to Millfield to confront her demons. She went back to the Devil's House, determined to put an end to the curse once and for all. But when she stepped inside, she found that the evil had only grown stronger. The house had become a portal to hell, and the teenager was pulled into its fiery depths, never to be seen again. From that day on, the Devil's House was left to rot, a monument to the unspeakable horror that had taken place within its walls. And even though the townspeople tried to forget about it, they knew that the evil still lingered, waiting to claim its next victim. Years turned into decades, and the Devil's House remained abandoned, a blight on the otherwise peaceful town. But despite the efforts of the townspeople to ignore it, rumors persisted that the house was still alive with malevolent energy. Some claimed that they could hear screams coming from the house late at night, while others swore that they saw shadows moving inside its boarded-up windows. One night, a group of teenagers snuck into the Devil's House, curious about the stories they had heard. They found the front door unlocked, and as they stepped inside, they felt a chill run down their spines. The air was thick with the same suffocating dread that had haunted the last group of teens who had entered the house decades ago. The group split up, searching through the darkened rooms of the Devil's House. But as they explored, they began to feel like they were being watched. Shadows flickered in the corners of their vision, and they heard whispers in their ears. Soon, they realized that they were not alone in the house. One by one, the teenagers began to disappear, just like the group that had entered the house years before. But this time, something was different. The evil inside the Devil's House had grown stronger, fueled by the fear and terror of the new victims. And as the night wore on, the house seemed to come alive with demonic energy. The last remaining teenager found herself trapped in a room with no windows, surrounded by the same malevolent energy that had claimed her friends. She tried to run, but the door wouldn't budge. She screamed for help, but her cries went unanswered. And as the darkness swallowed her whole, she knew that she would never escape the Devil's House. Years turned into decades once again, and the Devil's House remained standing, a dark and haunted monument to the horrors that had taken place within its walls. The townspeople tried to forget about it, but they knew that the evil inside was still waiting, ready to claim its next victim. And every now and then, someone would disappear without a trace, swallowed up by the malevolent energy that still lingered in the cursed house.